So it is garbage day in Hospers, the spring cleanup day, and we have had this mop bucket in our basement since we moved into this house. It's just been sitting there the entire time, and so I saw this and I thought, you know what, I can definitely repurpose this and upcycle it and make it into something that we can use. So saving it from the trash collection and going to upcycle it for biology class instead. All right, so I've got my galvanized tub here, my mop bucket that I'm going to use for the project. I've decided to make this 2 levels. I'm going to drill some holes in the bottom of it and use the bottom for some for a planter, and then also use the ringer for a planter. It's got some drainage built into it. I kept the mop. I'm going to cut the handle off this and use this for a plant to vine up. So, and then I'm also going to repaint the handle of the bucket there. It's in pretty rough shape. So I've got some yellow paint here that we've had in our garage for a while now, from back in the day when my son was making Pinewood Derby cars. So that's been a couple years ago now. Other thing we need is a drill with a 1/4 inch bit on it. I'm using that to drill some holes in the bottom of the bucket for a drainage area. And then also I've got a saw, just a hand saw to cut the head off the handle of the mop. And then I've got some red mulch here, and I'll put that in the bottom about 3 inches deep in order for that drainage to occur. I've got some potting mix that my wife's been using for some other projects around the yard, and then the flowers that I'm going to plant in the bucket. So I am going to get started on the project. Alrighty, so I just used some painter's tape, taped off the handle there, and now I've got and I cut the head off the mop so I can get these painted real quick. All right, so I put a first coat of paint on those parts, and now I'm going to do the first step on the bucket, which is to drill some holes in the bottom of it for some drainage. So I've got my drill ready to go, and I want to put holes about a 1/4 inch apart on here. And so very easy to get through there. Important safety tip when you're doing the drilling: just make sure that you wear your safety glasses, and that will make for a safe lab here. So I'm going to put the phone down and finish drilling these holes. All right, so there is the bottom of the mop bucket. It's got 17 holes in it now, all spaced, about an inch and a half apart around the base of it, so they'll have some good drainage. Now we're going to flip this over and start filling it. One other thing I should say about this is this bucket's pretty old. It's got some weathering on it, and that's really the look that my wife wanted on it for the garden. So, but if you've got a new bucket or a newer bucket, the one that you're not hasn't been sitting in your basement for 10 years, and we don't even know how long it was there before that. So something newer that doesn't have the matte finish to it, that's still very bright and shining, you can make it have this aged and weathered look by just spraying it down with a little vinegar, and then covering it with a cloth and letting it sit for about 6 hours to overnight. And if you do that, it'll kind of take that new sheen off of it, and it'll give it more of this dull aged and weathered look. So it wasn't necessary on this one, but if your bucket's a little newer than ours, that is definitely something you can do to give it a more of an aged look. All right, so I've got the bucket now, and I have put about 3 inches of mulch in the bottom of it. Again, so this mop bucket was made to hold water, and we're trying to get it to drain properly. So we're going to add some mulch into the bottom of it. We've also got our pole there that we painted yellow, and our handle on the mop bucket for our support pieces. Next, I'm going to add some of our potting mix to the bucket, both in the top here in the drain. That part is going to be draining really well, and then in the bottom here with our mulch. And there it is. Now I've added the dirt to the pot, and time to plant our flowers. And there it is, a finished project. The mop bucket turned garden planter for the summer of 2020. The best part about this project, I feel, is that it is portable. So if this year I want to have it full sun, which is the plants I put in it this year are for full sun. Next year, if I want to move it to a shady place, it's on wheels. It's very easy to move, and I can plant some different plants in it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the video and are able to make your own garden planter from a galvanized bucket.